Hey everyone, Dustin here with Jagged Brush Studios. Glad to have you back to join me for another video here. I've got something real special today. You may have heard, if you follow, that the Army Painter is putting out a new product, and I've managed to get my hands on one. They're coming out with their own wet palette. I've been super excited about this. I've known about it since Gen Con 2019. Talked with them about what kind of things I would like to see in one, and got to see a prototype there, and so I was really super excited about that. They gave me an early copy to review, get my hands on, and start getting some practice in at the table. So this is opened. I kept the box though to show you everything that comes in there. So I've repackaged it. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to show you one at a time what comes in there. So what you're going to get is you're going to get a container that has your paper in there. It's got 50 sheets, so they're fairly thin. Much thinner than other wet palette paper that I've used. A little bit thicker, I would say, if I had to compare it to parchment paper, just a little bit thicker than that, but I do find that it works superior to that, and I'll get into all of my thoughts about the wet palette as we get towards the end, but I want to finish showing you what's in there. You get 2 of these hydro sponges. They are they're hydrofoam, I think they're called. They come with a weird moisture to them already. I'm assuming that's some kind of antibacterial, antifungal thing going on there. I've been using mine for about 6 weeks and I've not had any issues with any kind of fungus or any weird smells growing on them. So I think the box even says it has an anti-mold agent on there. I'm looking down at the box a little bit as we talk, so but it does come that way, so pretty cool. It comes with your standard Army Painter, easy paint guide, and then the other thing you're going to get in the box besides the wet palette is also going to be you've got a little guide to all the different variants. You have a quick guide on how to use their brushes and how to use their paints. Got a little card that says if you like them to rate them. Thank you, and how to get in touch with them if you need them to take care of something that's broken or missing. And then, of course, the thing y'all have been waiting for here, I'm gonna toss this box down to the side here, is the wet palette itself. So pretty handy travel box. If you have an Army Painter brush, this is their detail brush, which is roughly the same size as everything else. There's a kind of a size comparison going on there for you. So, and the reason that that's going to come in is it's going to be really important. But it's got a nice elastic band to keep it all closed, so you can travel with it, turn it upside down, do whatever you need to. And then it's a nice plastic case, so very sturdy, much sturdier than the other wet palettes that I've used. This elastic band comes off nice and easy, and what you've got when you open it up is you're going to have a tray, a storage tray. So your brushes will fit in there nicely. You can fit a few of them in there and take them with you to travel. I don't keep mine in there when I'm not using it, but it's completely separate from the wet palette portion, so you don't have to worry about your brushes mildewing and molding because it's a complete separate section. And then you take that off and you've got your actual wet palette. Now, as you can see, I've been using mine. This is the first hydrofoam. I've actually not painted in about 2 weeks, which is odd for me. Had just for different various reasons, life stuff has happened. I haven't been able to paint, and if I were to touch this with the end of a brush or something, you can see that my paints are still pliable on there and still workable. They're still wet. I'm getting paint off on my brush. A little bit of water would bring those right back. So it's been about a good 2 weeks since I've opened this up, so it keeps paint very, very well. And these are all Army Painter paints on there. Let me see if I can show you better with this stick here. If you see this bone color down here, it's still wet. It's getting it starting to dry out, but this is again 2 weeks later. But if I were to add some water to that, it would be right back. I could use it again. So works wonderful as far as keeping paints pliable in between sessions. So you get that, easy to use. The paper is fairly thin and sits in there well. So really happy with that. So my thoughts, what do I think about it? Well, I've used a couple of different wet palette. I'll put this back together. I've used a couple of different wet palettes. I've tried my homemade one. I have the brand that you can get at any major hobby supply / craft store that I've used for a long time, and I like it, and it served me well. But I was very excited to get my hands on this, and it has proven to be a great upgrade. Real happy with this tool, and that's exactly what I see it as a tool. And it's, once I started using a wet palette, I couldn't go back to not using a wet palette. So what do I like about it? It obviously, it holds paint for a really long time, and you could mix your custom colors on there and leave it for a couple weeks and come back, and it's going to be easily revivable if they're at the point that mine are. I've seen it keeps them well for a short period of time to where you don't have to do a whole lot. Bear with me, I've got a little bit of a cold going on, but it is easy to use. It doesn't mold. Like I said, I got my hands on it about 6 weeks ago, so I've had a bunch of good paint sessions in there, and I've used it to paint tons and tons of miniatures, doing some Clone Wars stuff for Legion, did a bunch of other projects in there, and different various miniatures, and it's worked great. I think I've replaced the paper. This is the second paper that I've used, so it comes with 50. If I can make one of them last for 6, or 2 of them last for 6 weeks, you're going to get a long time out of this. It comes with 2 foams, so that's something you're not going to get with any other wet palette. It's a different consistency of foam too, whereas the other ones that I've seen are more of like almost like a chamois material, kind of a cloth-like. This is not. This is more of a closed cell foam, it feels like, that is wet. I'll see if I can't. I don't want to open it, but if you look close, it's not. It's even on me painter branded, but it's not a cloth. It's a very much like a foam sponge material. So that's something I find different than the other wet palettes that I've used. And it definitely far superior, kicks the butt out of the ones that I've made at home in the past. Army Painter's not paying me to say this. They gave me this. This is the only compensation I get for this video, is that I get to keep this product, and I'm very glad. I would have bought one. It's well worth it, and the cost, from what I understand, is $25 to $30 in the US. I don't know what that is going to be overseas. I don't know exactly that cost right there, but it's well worth the price, just especially if you travel with your paints. If you like to take your paints to the game store, hang out while you're painting your stuff, you can't beat this. It keeps your paints there. It keeps your paints wet. You put your paint brushes in there, and there's even a little separate side storage for whatever you need in there, and you're good to go. So highly recommend this product. Can't say enough good things about it. What are some things that I wish were some criticism, of course, just so I don't seem like I'm a home team player or something? I don't have a whole lot. That's the problem. I don't find fault with it, and I'm not saying that just because I really like Army Painter products. I really can't find anything I don't like about this. It's a little bit smaller than my past wet palettes, I guess, the actual working area, but what I'd found in my older, larger wet palettes was that I just tend to spread the paint out more. So realistically, I can get the same amount of paint in the same spots within the wet palette with this, because I spread it out less. So again, highly recommend this product. Can't say enough good things about it, and look forward to continuing to use this, and I can't wait till you guys can get your hands on it. So again, want to say thank you for stopping on by, and look forward to putting out some new stuff for you in the future. Have a great day.